up, War Rapport family? We are back with another great edition of Building Rapport. Today we have a special guest for us. Auburn wide receiver Jay Fair joins us on the War Rapport today. Jay, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Well, Jay, you have just completed your first spring and your strength and conditioning with Auburn football here under Brian Harsin. Tell us a little bit about what this spring has been like for you under the staff. Are you working on speed? What are you guys working on this spring?
What we've been working on pretty much is just kind of getting the concepts down in the playbook. Just kind of make sure we're pretty tight on all those things. But overall, it's been a pretty fun experience. Nothing can really prepare you for going through a spring except for actually going through it. But all the teammates and guys, they had my back and stuff when there were hard times during the spring. So it was a pretty good experience.
You said hard times during the spring. What was the hardest thing you went through this spring?
Man, it must have been getting the playbook the day before practice. And then so basically we'll have like an install, then we'll practice, then we'll have like another install. So like if you get stuck on one install and then you have another install to learn, then it starts to catch up with you. So I say that was the hardest part. But TJ and Robbie and Zach, all the quarterbacks pretty much helped me through it. And my roommate Holden.
So you decided to come to Auburn early, right? So you decided to be an early enrollee.
Right.
Tell me, do you feel like that was the best decision now, knowing having gone through the spring? Do you feel like it would have been just too crazy to try to get here after the spring and try to absorb all this stuff and get yourself in a position where you could possibly get some minutes in the fall?
Crazy. I definitely think it would have been crazy. It would have been doable, but crazy. So I am happy that I did choose to come early. But for the guys that are coming in later on, all the early enrollees are just going to be there and have their back too as well. So
For sure.
I think the biggest thing is no matter if you come in early or late, you just kind of got to stick together and figure things out with each other.
You talked about getting the playbook. What kind of adjustment has it been adjusting from the high school system that you guys ran to what Brian Harsin and his staff are doing from a play calling standpoint?
The routes is it's not a big adjustment, but it's a slight adjustment. I'm used to running go balls and stop routes all the time. So I probably say the route combinations, and then just the structure of how the play is called was a lot different from high school. It'll be like a short word in high school, but then like you get to college, it's like a long play call. I'm like, it's a lot more I got to learn. But that's probably the biggest adjustment as far as like the plays and stuff like that.
Okay, so you're be playing more in the slot here. How has Coach Hilliard been to work with so far, and how has he helped with your transition and just kind of learning what you need to do for your role here as a wide receiver?
Great coach. Couldn't ask for less. He came in kind of in the middle of everything and just handled his business. He was being straight up with us. And you could tell he really knows what he's doing. So like in meetings and stuff like that, when we're all just sitting there talking, you can hear like he really cares about us. And if I'm being honest, our receiver room has gotten a lot better since he's came in. Guys are starting to compete more. The chemistry is there on and off the field. So I think he's really doing a good job building the room so far. So he's been a great addition to the room.
You said guys are getting better. Is Coach Hilliard? Is he a competition guy? Is he a rah-rah guy? What kind of coach is he?
Definitely not a rah-rah guy. He's pretty chill overall.
Okay.
So I say competition. Yeah, competition guy for sure.
Jay, we've talked to TJ Finley. We've talked to Robbie Ashford. We hope to talk to Zach Calzada. I saw a video of you and Zach getting some work in the indoor facility. What has the chemistry been like with these three quarterbacks, and how are you adjusting? And what are some things that you guys do to get used to the way each quarterback plays the game?
So when I first got here, the first quarterback that I ran routes with was TJ. And that just took some getting used to coming from a high school quarterback to a college quarterback. And then I eventually ended up throwing with Robbie and Calzada. They're all great quarterbacks. The difference between each quarterback is not that big of a difference. But as you throw more with them, the chemistry is there. I'd say a lot of the intermediate routes are kind of the harder to get chemistry with, especially with doing on air and then you transition it over to the field with the defenders and stuff like that. But the overall difference between the quarterback is not that big.
Is it timing? Is it understanding their ball velocity? Like what is it that it about the chemistry that you're trying to get down with each one on those intermediate routes?
Definitely the timing on that, and then just knowing what he's thinking while I'm running my route. Just kind of being on the same page of the timing and all of that.
And you also mentioned the difference between what you noticed when you started throwing with TJ between like a high school quarterback and a college quarterback. Like, what's the difference there that like was noticeable for you?
Definitely the mentality. A high school quarterback, you go out there kind of play around a little bit, just kind of throw around, just have fun. But like these are like real game reps that we're doing and just routes on the air. So it's more so like breaking down an actual route in the play and what he's thinking and what he's seeing, and then just kind of relating that message back to me so that I know as I'm running my route what to kind of look out for.
Okay, so one of the things that we major on here is strength and conditioning. So tell me about what the strength and conditioning program was like for you, experiencing that for the first time when you got out there during the spring.
That was fun. My high school did lift a lot, so I'm used to the weights. And then just doing it in the college experience was a little different as far as like the intensity goes. But overall, I love lifting. I enjoy being up there bright and early in the morning and working out. It's fun. I don't have a problem with any of that. But I say the running piece is different from high school because high school we did not run like that. But it was fine overall. I mean, it wasn't that big of a difference because we always lifted in high school. But the weight room and strength conditioning is serious.
Jay, you came in a sub 4.4 guy, right? So what kind of goals did they set for you physically this spring? Did they want you to put on weight or get faster and drop some pounds, or like what kind of physical goals did you have in the weight room?
I gained 11 pounds here in my first 3-4 months. Weight room. The weight room goals that they have for me, I passed those up by a mile. I really felt disrespected. I feel like they underestimated me just a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Talk
about it, Jay. Talk about it.
Coach already knows. I told him, I was like, you really think I'll just have to show you.
All right.
As far as that, it was mainly just the weight part. I gained 11 pounds. And that was pretty much it.
Did that slow you down at all?
It got me faster, actually. I feel like it got me faster.
Okay, so this is Coach Harson's second spring. You're experiencing him for the first time. What has it been like with Coach Harson this spring? Has it been pretty hands-on with the offense this spring as you guys are trying to go into this second year?
Yeah, I'd say it was pretty hands-on. He was pretty much with the offense like every practice. Definitely hands-on, even in meetings, popping up in the offensive meetings. But it was pretty cool, just kind of because he was there to also help me out with like some of the questions that I did have as far as like the offense goes. But I feel like he really had our backs, the guys who came in early, with trying to get adjusted to everything, and he was always open for questions if we had any.
So Coach Harson has an open door policy for you guys to come in and just sit down. Are you getting regular feedback on your process, on your progress, and where you're at?
I wouldn't say regular feedback. It's up to you, to be honest. Like if you want to go up and ask him, you can, but like he's not gonna force you. So it's really just depends on how you are as a person. If you want to know how you're doing, then that door is always open. But if not, then
all right. So you talked about the transition from being more of an outside receiver to an inside receiver so far. But when you think about your game, and Auburn fans have not had an opportunity to see Jay Fair other than A-Day, which we'll talk about in a minute. But when you think about your game, what are the things that you feel like you bring to the position that Auburn fans should expect to see on Saturdays?
The first thing I would say is speed and the ability to stretch the field. One thing with me is I'm not a selfish player. So, like, I understand my role and what I need to do, and I'm always there to help out somebody if they need it. But I definitely say speed and unselfishness in the room. Ability to just take the top off, and then the ability to take the short routes and turn them into long gains. I'd probably say that's probably the top two things that I'm bringing to the table.
Is there a guy who is in the room right now that maybe has a little more experience than you that you really kind of get with to understand the concepts a little bit better? Like which of your teammates is kind of taking you under their wing so far in the wide receiver room?
Javarius Johnson.
Okay.
He was the first player to take me under his wing and kind of help me out with the stuff as far as plays and concepts go. So I would always FaceTime him night before practice if I had questions. He was always open to help me out. So I probably say I was the first player.
Is that kind of closeness something that Coach Hilliard is fostering, or did you just naturally have that kind of relationship with Javarius?
That just naturally happened. That just naturally happened over time. We just grew closer and stuff like that. And then, but as the time did come, more of the other receivers did join in on that if I had questions. But I think it's all a respect thing. I think once they saw that I came in and worked hard, that I kind of got their respect. Because no respect is just given; it's always earned.
Right.
So I kind of felt like I had to go in and earn that respect from the jump, and I feel like I did.
Okay, Jay. So you went through A-Day, and you got a couple looks during A-Day. Can you talk a little bit about what percentage of the playbook you feel like you have absorbed, and if the coaches had to put you on the field game one, do you feel like after the spring you're ready to run most of the playbook?
I have to say, from everything that has been handed to me, I've taken it in pretty well. I'm pretty confident in what I know for now. I'm sure they'll add on to it in the fall and in the summer and stuff like that. But if we were to play games tomorrow night, I'd be ready to go with the plays that they called it A-Day.
So A-Day was your first taste of Jordan Hare. Now that was like that with no baptism by fire. You didn't get to see like the entire rowdy situation. Yeah. But talk to me a little bit about kind of what that experience was like for you, getting those I mean, it was still a scrimmage, but semi-live game type environment with the fans and everything. What was A-Day like for you?
I was up the night before studying plays and stuff, and then as soon as we got dressed up and stuff, I just kind of put everything to the side and just kind of enjoyed it and have fun. It's a different experience overall from high school just because it's college. But the experience was fun. I had fun with my teammates. I didn't try to worry too much, just go out there and enjoy myself. And then taking pictures with some of the fans and signing autographs and stuff is pretty cool.
Okay, Jay, we've talked to Robbie Ashford and we talked to TJ Finley, and we asked them who they thought the fastest guy on the team was. Right. We got some curious answers. TJ Finley said, watch out for Jay Fair. Robbie Ashford says the whole team runs 4.3s. So we're not buying that right now.
Nah, but you know who he ultimately said was probably the fastest though. Shed.
He says Shed is running low 4.3s here. So in your estimation, who is the fastest guy on this team right now?
All right, I'm gonna give y'all some tea here.
Okay, talk to us.
So it was about a couple weeks ago. We did some 1080s on this. It's basically this machine that tracks your acceleration within so many yards. Mm-hmm. And we did it twice, back to back. Now, the first time I won, I had the fastest time out of all the receivers, but I think I had the second or third fastest time on the team. And the receivers talking about, oh, this don't matter. It was a fluke. Nobody was really trying. I said, okay. So we did it again, and I ended up having the fastest time again out of all the receivers, but like second, I think I was the second fastest on the team that time. The only person who was faster than was Nehemiah
Pritchett. I knew it was going to be Pritchett. They said he got burners, man.
They said he got slides.
The other dude was DJ James. So Nehemiah.
Oh, I didn't know DJ James had it like that.
DJ slide for real.
Okay.
Yeah, DJ slide.
Okay, all right.
But Shed is fast though. Shed is fast, yeah.
Oh, so maybe Robbie was telling the truth. Everybody out there running 4.3s.
Yeah, everybody slide for real. So.
Okay. Right. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that speed on the field then. Jay, one of the things that we hear from a lot of people as far as differences, you already talked about the playbook differences. Have you had an opportunity to get in and really like study film yet? And is that something that you enjoy doing? Do you kind of know what you're looking for? What is your film life like?
I did get a chance to go study film with Zach Calzada a couple nights during the spring or whatever. It's definitely different. High school film is like, yeah, they do this, they do that, this and that. But like when you break it down to college film, it's tendencies and stuff like that, and coverages and defenses and how to disguise different looks and blitzes and stances and all. It's a long list of things that you have to look for. It's definitely different, but it's something you just got to adjust to overall. I'm still getting there. I'm still learning how to watch for certain things. But overall, I think as time goes, I'll be fine as far as like what to look for and stuff like that. But watching film, I've got to do it a little bit. I'm sure it gets a lot more in depth during the season than it is now. But I mean, the meetings are like 2 hours long, which I'm not used to. just overall the different game plans and stuff like that for the day. But yeah, meetings and film and stuff like that is all different, but it's something you just got to get used to.
So hold on. So what are y'all talking about for 2 hours? Like 2 hour meeting? Is it just like your receiver group? Like who all is in that meeting for 2 hours, and what are y'all talking about?
All the receivers, Coach Whitlow, and Coach Jeff. We really just go over some drills that we might do for practice. Then we watch the last practice film, and then we'll go over install for the day. But of course, we'll have like that time where we ask each other how our days went and stuff like that, and kind of have the bonding moment. And then we'll watch some NFL tape or whatever like that. And then we'll watch like different cut-ups. It goes by pretty fast, but like to say it's 2 hours, that's kind of crazy.
So we're hearing, Jay, that there's a lot of competition happening this spring. I asked you about who the fastest guy on the team was. I think we got an honest answer this time, Ike. Now I got to ask you about who the lockdown corner on this team is. Roger McCreary is gone.
Right.
Who fills Roger's shoes this upcoming fall?
I haven't been able to go against the corners yet. But from what I see, it's either going to be Nehemiah or Simp, I think, are going to be the two main corners this year. I'm not sure. I don't know who's better out of the two. I want to say Nehemiah, but I'm not really sure. I haven't watched them as close as I do watch the safeties.
All right.
Oh, because you typically in the slot going to be matched up against the safety. So who's been the toughest safety cover for you? Like who's the guy that like when you're in the slot, you like, oh man, I got to rep against this dude again?
I'm gonna say that just because I'm competitive.
Okay.
It really don't matter to me. It really doesn't.
I like it. I like it.
They say everybody getting the smoke.
If I had to choose a guy, I'd probably say it's Marquise Gilbert.
Okay. Right. The JUCO.
Yeah. Me and him had some good reps, but other than that, I really don't sweat anybody overall. But like, he's probably the toughest guy that I've been against. So.
Okay.
I like it.
So, tell me how that goes down on the line. You line up. Do you like point at him and be like, you already know what's coming. You know what's coming, but you can't stop it.
Yeah, I do talk some mess sometimes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Are we gonna see you out there chirping a little bit if some? Because you listen, I'm gonna send you. I don't know if you've seen it. There's some film with Seth Williams. Former Auburn.
I think I might have seen it.
The Mississippi State game.
Yeah.
This is gonna happen at some point in time when you're out there. Somebody's gonna talk a little something to you. It's gonna be a contentious game, especially if they know they've got a good defense. Are you the type to just let it slide? Or are you gonna be talking back? Like what's your temperament like out there on the field?
I'm gonna let it slide. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Okay.
Let the game do the talking.
I'm like, all right, and then line it up, and it's over with after that.
Okay. All right. I love this.
None at all. Most people who do the talking, really, you already know, like, man, they ain't talking about nothing for real. So I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna line up and get to work.
All right. Jay, have you had a chance to talk to any of the guys that are yet to come? Some of the other freshmen that are supposed to be coming and joining the room. I know Cam Brown is supposed to be coming. I think there's one other receiver whose name's slipping my mind. Who's the Amari Kelly. Yeah. So have you had a chance to talk to Cam Brown and Amari Kelly at all? And what do you feel like your role is going to be once they get in there?
I did talk to them. They came down. I forgot which. They came down for a couple of spring practices, and we kind of hung out for a little bit, just talked about what they're looking to do when they try to come in. I feel like my overall role when they get here will be to just kind of have their back and stuff. If they have questions, be there for them, help them go through the playbook, because the stuff that they're going to be learning is what I already just learned, on top of newer stuff that I'll have to learn as well. So I feel like my role is just kind of be there and help them out with stuff, just how the older guys did for me when we came in.
Who is the if you look at a pro receiver, right? Like who is the guy that you look at and say to yourself, that's the kind of guy I want to be as a receiver? Is there anybody you model your game after? Are there people who like you pick up little things from when you're watching them? Who's your guy?
I'd probably say Diggs.
Okay. Stephon Diggs. Okay.
That's probably the guy I look after. I've had a couple people tell me that they remind me of Tyler Lockett. I look at him a little bit too. But I'd probably say Diggs overall. That's probably a guy that I look at the most.
Jay, I want to close this interview out by asking you, what do you have to say to people out there underestimating Auburn's passing game this fall? We're primarily known as a running school.
Right.
We don't air it out a whole lot over the years. Even in some of the better years, it's Nick Marshall, Trey Mason, Cam Newton, those guys on the ground. But is this the year of the pass at Auburn? And what's your message to fans out there about what they can expect from your unit in the fall?
For sure, you can expect some consistency down the field as far as the deep throws and stuff like that. Overall, just consistent performance week in and week out, I feel like you'll definitely need to expect from us. I don't want to throw out too much out there, but I just keep it plain and sweet. So consistency.
Well, Jay, I want to thank you for taking some time to sit down with us to talk about your spring and give us something to look forward to this fall. So thanks, man, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's it for another great edition of Building Rapport with our guy, Jay Fair. Look, if you want more content like this, hit like and subscribe. We are the War Rapport on most social media platforms, TW Rapport on TikTok. Guys, we're signing off, and as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.